Thanks for tuning in to our bonus episode preview. This is just a short sample of this week's exclusive Patreon episode. You can hear the episode in its entirety by becoming a member at patreon.com/IndoctriNation, where you'll gain access to all of our exclusive episodes and merchandise. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to all of you, to the Patreon supporters who help sustain this show. Your support is truly invaluable. Thank you so much. So for today, there's an interesting subject that comes up quite often that I wanted to make sure to talk to you about. This is something that comes up a lot also when I'm doing support groups. And there are 2 support groups I'm running now, and each of them are for people who have been harmed by a cult group, a horrible relationship, or they have loved ones involved in these situations and want to know how to help them. Either way, there are recurring themes that come up in both of these groups. And one of the things that comes up quite often is this idea of a lack of conscience within cultic groups. So what you find a lot of the time is that if something happens to someone out there in the world who's not part of the cult, if something bad happens, if someone has something catastrophic happen to them or an illness of some sort, something serious, there is a certain coldness, a chilly ice that becomes part of people's countenance when they hear about things happening to people outside, bad things happening. And this chilly response comes from not having a feeling of sensitivity towards people who are suffering, because the conditioned way of looking at them, the indoctrinated way of looking at them, is to see them as having caused this, caused their illness, caused that natural disaster to happen, the storm to hit their house. And if you feel like someone brought it on themselves, then you might then feel less compassion. Truth is, most people are still going to feel bad for you if you get injured, even if it's not your fault, or something happens to you, even if it's not your fault, like car accident. And they're going to feel sorry for you in the world outside often if something happens to you and it was your fault, also like a car accident, that was your fault. Potentially. And also, if you decided to live in a place that was more prone to certain kinds of natural disasters, people might say, well, why did you choose to live there in this sort of tornado tunnel or, a place that is so prone to earthquakes like here in Los Angeles? But I think that what happens, though, in a cult is that there isn't that same, feeling bad for the person that naturally happens. Instead, there is this idea that because you brought it on yourself, you do not need any sympathy. You do not deserve any sympathy. And this is all on you. When people are raised in cultic groups, they sometimes have a very hard time learning to be compassionate for the first time.